Hey everybody, Tristan here, and today we'll be installing the Traxxas 2056 waterproof servo, and this was donated to me by SchwentRCRacing. Thank you very much, man. When you first sent this to me, it was already pre-covered in black electrical tape and colored in with a black Sharpie. I just went ahead, put some more electrical tape on there just to make it look a little bit better and cleaned up the Sharpie a bit. I like the fact that it's black because you won't be able to see it too much. It probably could have been done a lot nicer if I had a paint pen instead of a Sharpie. Other than that, guys, yes, let's get this thing installed because Aurora has an almost 20-year-old servo in her. So let's get that replaced. To get to the servo, we're going to need to remove the upper deck, and that's held on with 4 screws. 2 back here and 2 up here. With the 4 screws removed, the upper deck should pop right on out. Now that we have this out of there, we can also go ahead and unscrew the nuts that hold the toe links in place. Now that the upper deck's free from the RC, we can now get to the 5 screws that hold the servo in place. There's going to be 4 that hold it to the upper deck, and then 1 that holds the servo saver to it. With the screws removed, the servo should slide right on off. We can take our new servo and slide it right in its place and screw down the 4 screws that hold it on. We're just not going to screw in the servo saver until after we get it plugged in and centered. Before we can start attaching everything back to the RC, we're going to need to disconnect the old servo from the receiver and connect the new one. First, we're going to need to open up the receiver box, and it's going to be held on with 2 screws. We're also going to need to remove the wire tie, which is also held on with 2 screws. With the receiver box opened up and the wire tie removed, we can now unplug the servo from channel 1. Just going to feed the wire on out through the top of the receiver box, and then you can now put this servo, whether it be a good one or the bad one, off to the side. I'm just going to throw the servo away. But we can now take the new servo, feed its wire through the top, just like before, and plug this one into channel 1. Just like that. There we go. Now we're going to take the top, push it back down in place, and then screw in the 2 screws that hold it to the bottom of the receiver box. I'm not going to put the wire tie down because there's still a couple things I need to do before that. Now with the RC plugged in and powered on, along with your transmitter powered on, you're going to want to make sure your steering trim is at 0, and then you can center your servo. I figured out this cool little trick, or if you just want to center your bell cranks, and everything should come out aligned perfectly. You're just going to center the bell cranks and then plug your servo saver in place. And then everything, like I said, should be centered. If it turns out it's not centered, then you just need to readjust your toe links till they are centered. Other than that, guys, you're going to need to put down the 1 screw that holds the servo saver in place, and it's ready to go back on the RC. Now that's everything centered on the servo, we can now take our toe links and slide them on the 2 screws that hold it in place and put the 1 nut that holds them on. Once that's done, we can just slide the upper deck into place, just like so. Press down above the bell cranks to sink the cap head screws into the chassis. Then we should be able to screw in the 4 screws that hold it in place. Last thing we need to do is to get rid of some of the slack for the servo wire. Gonna slide most of it into the waterproof receiver box. And once we have just enough in our chassis, we're gonna want to take the wire tie, slide it into place just like so, and screw down the 2 screws that hold it into place. And there it is, guys. Aurora now has a nice new waterproof servo. So, with you can't really see it, so there's no point in really doing a before, here's after clip. But yeah, guys, it's gonna be so nice. It's a nice, needed upgrade from that old 20 or I don't even remember how old that servo is. It's an old servo. But yeah, guys, so excited. It's got the high torque one. It's not the fast Traxxas Servo, it's just the high torque servo, the 26. So it's not the best, it's not the brightest, but it will do the job 10 times better than that old one. And it's waterproof, so that's another bonus. Yeah guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you all next time.